I am having trouble with technology. I'm not having problems. Technology is having problems with me, I think. So here's what we're doing. I am going to try to go live from Zoom and record it because for some reason, Facebook all of a sudden just removed the controls where I could download the video after I get done. Because I usually, when I get done, I download it and then I upload it to YouTube. Well, for the large part of this week, I couldn't do either one. Well, I found out I can't go live on my phone. So we're just giving this a shot this morning. So I don't know how it's going to turn out. I hope I don't have to do it twice, right? So I got to work out some kinks here because I can't go live on both in Zoom. So I'm just giving it a shot. Anyway, how are you this morning? Welcome to Saturday. What is today? The 14th? The 14th. Wow. Almost halfway through. By the time we meet on Monday, we'll be halfway through it this month, right? A little past that. Wow. It's just amazing how fast this month is going. Okay, I can see chat. That's good. Good morning. Good morning, Jeannie. It's good to see you. Okay, so let me know if you can hear me and everything. So anyway, I'm kind of scattered because it's just I'm having to figure it out a different way, right? Technology is great when it works, when you how you expect it to, but then when it doesn't, it's just very frustrating. It's like, oh my gosh, now what do I do, right? So I'm having to dig a little deeper to figure out how to solve this problem. There, speaking of YouTube though, I missed Thursday night. I just too much with Chris this week, too little sleep and all that. So there will be a new video up over the weekend on the YouTube on my YouTube channel. Thank you. And then I'll have another one up next week too. So I'm already, I just got to get it up there and get it done. So thank goodness for Zoom right now, right? That's what I'm using to do all that. So this morning I spent some time, I was reading, I'm trying to read, I'm almost done with Genesis already, just reading the story of Joseph. Man, that's just, I always cry when he meets his brothers. I don't know why. I know how the story is going to go. I always cry though when he knows his brothers and then he goes out and it says he cried so loudly that everybody could hear him. And just what a wonderful moment that must have been, right, when he actually finally saw his brothers again. But anyway, so I was thinking, I was reading that, and I was praying about some different things, and I was working on the lesson for the YouTube series that I'm doing on worship, and just lots of studying. And I just ended up thinking about Job, and here's why. Well, he's going to be the subject of the next video. That's why. That's the why. But I was just thinking about all he went through and how at the end of Job it says this. It says all of his friends came back to him because his friends were not really friends. And it says the Lord restored Job's losses when he prayed for his friends. Indeed, the Lord gave him twice as much as he had before. Then all of his brothers, his sisters, all those who had been acquainted before came to him and ate food with him, and they celebrated, right? And so I think the old King James says that the Lord healed Job when he prayed for his friends, And so what I wanted to do today is just encourage you to pray for somebody else. And here's why. And maybe I'm the only one that does this, but I get locked into my situation. And all I can see is what I got to do for Chris and what I got to do for this and what I got to do for that and what I need, right? And we need to be responsible for the things that we've got. I mean, that's not right. I mean, that's a given, right? But I'm like, we've got to look past that. And so today I want to encourage you to find somebody, more than one somebody's if you want, to pray for. You already know that you have his peace. You already know that you have the grace to make through today. And if you know anybody, and everybody knows somebody, even me I live in a cave, and I still know people that are going through really hard situations, really difficult stuff, right? And so pick somebody and just today pray for their situation. Because I think when you do that, you're going to see your situation change. Right. So I want to encourage you today to just look past your situation. Go ahead and let his peace reign in your heart. You've got his peace, right? Go ahead and reaffirm to yourself and tell your own heart, hey, God's grace is sufficient for everything I face today. Give him your request. It says, give him our request, give him our anxious thoughts, and then let his peace reign in our hearts. Right. And so go ahead and pray. Don't just skip yourself, but say, God, I got this, and this, and this, and then just hand it to him and pick somebody else, at least one other person, maybe 2 or 3 other people. Maybe you know a whole list of people. Write their names down. Just grab a piece of paper and just write their names down. You don't have to think about what you're praying for them specifically. Just write their names down and just pray for each of those people. Pray that they have God's peace. Pray that God provides for them, whatever it is they're thinking. If they're sick, pray that God heals them. Pray that he touches the medical workers that are taking care of them, gives them wisdom to know what to do. Pray if you know someone's in a financial situation. Pray what you would want prayed for you. Did that make sense? So it's not that hard to figure out how to pray for someone. Just think about, if I was in that situation, how would I want someone else to pray? And pray that for them. Pray that God provides. Pray for healing or strength, or that they'll understand that God's grace is right there. Pray that his peace will reign in their heart. Pray whatever you would want prayed for you if you were in that situation. Because we find out, and we look here at the story of Job, which I've been meditating and studying on the last couple of weeks anyway, and his losses were restored when he prayed for his friends. So, and I think maybe sometime, and why was he praying for his friends? He was the one the story was about, right? He was the one that lost all of his kids. Man, I just can't even imagine that. He lost all of his kids. He lost all of his possessions. He lost his health, everything literally, but his life was taken from him. Why is he praying for? And his friends didn't pray for him. They didn't. They came, it said they came and they sat for 7 days and never said a word because their grief was so great. And that's a lot. Can I just say that? That's a lot. When Chris first had his wreck, my friend Mary flew in from Indianapolis and she stayed like, I think 3 or 4 days. I went and picked her up out at the airport and brought her, and she just sat with me. She just was there. She didn't have to do anything. She didn't have to be anything. It meant so much, and it strengthened my heart so much for her to just be with me for 3 or 4 days there, right? And man, and so here they came. They sat for 7 days because they didn't have any words. They probably should have stayed silent a lot longer, because when they started speaking, it all went downhill from there, right? But overall, you know, you look at that and here we are and then when they started talking, they're like, well, you've sinned. Boy, have I heard that before. Or what did you do, Job? You know, and he's like, I didn't do anything. Like, oh, you had to do something because God's really mad at you. He's like, no, I didn't do anything. I am righteous before God. I have not done anything. I know God, and he did not tell me anything I did. He has not revealed to me anything that I did. And he maintained his right standing with God throughout their badgering. And now here it is at the end of Job, and God tells his friends, y'all all go over to Job and let Job pray for you. So they came and he prayed for them. They weren't the ones who had gone through. Job was. Job prayed for his friends, and when he prayed for his friends, he was restored. He was healed. It doesn't even say what happened to his friends after that, because then it says everybody came and they had a big party. And it says the Lord blessed the later years of Job more than his beginning. And he doubled everything he had, even had more kids. Right now, you know, I'm going to leave that there because I'm like, I don't know how you replace a kid, right? How do you restore that? But God took care of Job was the whole thing when he prayed for his friends. So I'm encouraging you today to take these things we've been talking about, the peace that we know God gave us. And we know we talked sometimes 1,000,000 times a day, 100,000 times a day. If you're really good, maybe only 10,000 times a day. You got to reel that back in and go, no, I'm going to let God's peace reign. I got to let God's peace. I'm going to let God's peace reign. And then, but at some point, you got to get your attention off of your situation and get it on God first, because he's the source of peace. You're not the source just because you're letting it rain. God's the source. And then you pray for your friends that they come to know that source of peace too. So I encourage you to find somebody today. Everybody knows somebody, right, that's going through something, because we're all breathing and we're all still here on this earth, right? So just maybe you know a family who's suffered great loss, or maybe you know someone in a financial bind, or maybe you know someone who's ill, maybe you know someone, I don't know, fill in the blank. But today, take your focus off of your own need and do like Job did and put it on someone else's and pray for them today. That's my encouragement, because you're going to find, well, and let me know what you find. I think you'll be surprised at the difference it brings in your attitude, the difference it brings in your ability to let God's peace reign. And it changes your focus when you begin to realize that someone else is hurting too. Someone else has struggles too. It's not all about me. It's not all about you. And so I encourage you today to pray the things you're trying to let reign in your heart. Begin to pray that others will have it too. Pray that they'll have his peace, his provision, that they'll come to know this Prince of Peace, that they'll come to know that God really is the source of peace, that he really is our provider, no matter where we are, that he is our healer, that he's the one who saves us, that there's a bigger picture than even all of the struggles that we're trying to work through in this life. So pray for someone else today. I encourage you, and then let me know, did it change your attitude? Did it change your atmosphere? Did it change your environment? Did it change your heart to focus on someone else's need for the day? I just encourage you today to just pray. Pick somebody else. Pick a friend. Pick a friend that's been picking on you, like these guys were picking on Job. I mean, he could have picked anybody else to have prayed for, but he prayed for these knuckleheads that came and sat and just berated him for weeks on end, months on end, of how bad he was and how much he didn't know. And then God intervened. So pick somebody you don't like. Yeah, that's a hard one, isn't it? But Jesus told us to pray for those who despitefully use us, pray for those who attack us. Pick somebody today to pray for, that they will experience God's peace. And I promise you, you'll have his peace too. Have a great day. Peace out, and I'll see you Monday morning.